Everyone, now you've finished your mocks and we're ready to go. It's not a time to relax, unfortunately. You've got to work out what you did well in your mocks, what you need to do different next time. Did you feel you had enough energy in the exam room? Did you feel awake? Did you miss time? Any of the papers that cost you lots of questions, lots of marks? I'm really particularly aware that in my English papers, did you go to question 5s in the language to get the maximum marks, or did you run out of time? And you've got to work out alongside your teachers what you think is going to get you more marks next time and raise your grades. And a lot of people do raise their grades when they do the next round, which is the actual exams, and people are marking it who sometimes give generous marks, sometimes they mark quite harshly. There's a fishing boat out there off of Portland Bill. If only I could think of a poem that mentions a fishing boat. Oh, grandfather's fishing boat. Maybe it's a good reminder that get yourselves out. Get yourselves outside and look around. And, you know, revision doesn't have to be in a bedroom with a computer screen. You can come outside and look at the world. Revise out here in nature. So we've got a fishing boat, and hopefully we're going to have a look at the sea, and that will help me to revise for Kamikaze. There's a bit of a northeasterly wind today, but again I could sort of think about exposure. Sorry about the shaky camera work. And then merciless ice-east winds, and if I'm sitting in that exam room I might just remember today and coming for this walk. And of course storm on the island. Whilst it's not very stormy today, notice how the buildings are quite squat because we get a lot of strong winds here on Portland Bill. And so I could just keep going over those things in my mind, and if that helps me just listen to those birds, if I could recall that in the exam room, there could be some extra marks just for the recall that I'm having for being out in nature and revising. Safi having a good sniff. This monument to Admiral Hyde, built in 1844 here on the end of Portland Bill. That was built after Ozymandias was written, after London was written, and it's really close to Charge of the Light Brigade. With all this natural beauty here, just think of that storm coming in and Seamus, Heaney, people working the land, and a Labrador just sniffing around in case there's a little bit of food. was some dolphins seen here a couple of weeks ago, and quite often in this little bay you get the seals coming in after they've been feeding, and they rest on their backs, and all the tourists get their cameras out. It's as if nature is performing for them. This is all the... So this is Portland Bill. Over there is the Jurassic Coast, Derby Door, famous places like that. So what sort of building do you build that's this close to the sea and has every storm coming in? Well, you chuck up a load of Portland stone. You don't build it very tall. In fact, you'd build it squat, like you did with Sean Heaney stuff. So they're just rebuilding the car park over there so that Prince William, who's the Duchy of Cornwall, can take some more money from the tourists, because I think life might be getting a bit tough for the royals. Ooh. Which makes me think about the poem London by William Blake, and how he questioned that the monarchy wanted to keep the peasants poor, because you don't keep power if you want equality. You can't keep power if you allow working class people to have make a decent living, and the rich, as William Blake says, the church, the government, the legal system, the monarchy. When he wrote the poem, the early 1800s, they had no rights, couldn't vote, so how can you change government? And you come forward to Jekyll and Hyde, and you see that men of influence and wealth still use that power to subjugate the working classes, the poor and the women. And then you come forward to an Inspector Calls and 1912, with overtones of 1945, we're still in a society where rich, powerful men believe they're above the law. Mr. Burning, Gerald, Eric, even Colonel Roberts, head of the police, he's there to help the rich people, not there for the Eva Smiths and Daisy Rentons.